Amid the economic uncertainty of the past few years, more and more people and businesses have been looking for reliable ways to protect their wealth. That is why many are turning to financial assets that act as true stores of value, like gold, Bitcoin, US bonds, commodities, and of course, precious stones. And in 2025, something extraordinary happened. While some gems lost market value, others skyrocketed in ways that no one expected. But have you ever stopped to wonder why certain gemstones gain so much value while others lose it? What makes a stone go from being just another mineral to becoming a millionaire's investment? In fact, in several countries, there are exchanges where natural gems are traded with the same seriousness as stocks or precious metals. And in 2025, these exchanges recorded some of the most surprising price jumps of the decade. Stones once seen as niche collectibles suddenly became highly sought-after assets. Want an example? This is a Paraiba tourmaline. 10 years ago, few people outside the gem world even knew its name. Today, a single carat of this neon blue stone can sell for more than a luxury car. And it is not the only one. Rubies, emeralds, spinels, and other gems reached values that shocked even experienced collectors. So the big question is, which gemstones actually exploded in value this year? And more importantly, why? That is exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. We are going to reveal the 10 gemstones that gained the most value in 2025, explaining the reasons behind their rise, the markets driving the demand, and what makes them so rare and desirable. The truth is, many of the most valuable stones in the world are not just beautiful. They are part of a global market where rarity, fashion, and investment meet. And if you have ever been curious about which gems are truly worth paying attention to, this video will open your eyes. Because once you understand why these stones gain so much value, you will no longer look at gemstones as just shiny ornaments. You will see them as powerful assets that can hold and even multiply wealth in uncertain times. So before you think of gemstones only as jewelry, make sure to watch this video all the way through, because the stones you are about to see are not just beautiful. They are financial treasures that in 2025 reached record-breaking prices. Imagine a gemstone that, when exposed to light, doesn't just reflect it, but seems to glow from within. That's the feeling of looking at a Paraiba tourmaline. Discovered in the 1980s in a small region of Paraiba, Brazil, this gem completely revolutionized the gemstone market. Unlike traditional tourmalines, which often come in common colors like green, pink, or brown, the Paraiba tourmaline displays an electric blue and neon green, so intense that they almost look unreal. This unique coloration is caused by traces of copper and manganese in its structure, something no other tourmaline in the world has in the same way. This chemical detail quickly turned Paraiba from just another beautiful stone into a true phenomenon. The luxury jewelry market, always on the hunt for novelty, embraced it as one of the most desired gems on the planet. In Japan, for example, consumers were so fascinated by its glowing color that the country became one of the largest importers of Paraiba tourmaline. In the United States and Europe, high-end jewelry designers began using it in exclusive collections, boosting both its fame and its value. And the numbers speak for themselves. According to the International Gem Society, between 2012 and 2023, Paraiba tourmaline prices grew at an extraordinary pace. In 2022 alone, values jumped an astonishing 118%. In 2023, they rose another 27%. That means a stone that was already rare and expensive managed to nearly double in price in just 1 year. Something almost unheard of in the gem market, which is known for fluctuations driven by fashion and demand. But why is 2025 being seen as another explosive year for Paraiba? The answer lies in 3 key factors. The first is rarity. The original deposits in Brazil are nearly exhausted, and even later discoveries in Nigeria and Mozambique cannot supply enough material to meet global appetite. The second is demand. Collectors and investors are increasingly looking for assets that can preserve and even multiply value during uncertain times, and Paraiba fits that profile perfectly by combining beauty, scarcity, and liquidity in international auctions. The third factor is prestige. Owning one of these stones is not just an investment, it is a status symbol, a mark of exclusivity, and a way to belong to an extremely small circle of people with access to one of the rarest minerals ever found. Visually, Paraiba stands apart from every other stone you can imagine. If rubies remind us of fiery red and sapphires of deep ocean blue, Paraiba is like a bolt of electric light captured inside a crystal. That's why even small gems, half a carat or a single carat in size, can reach staggering prices, often higher than diamonds of the same size. In jewelry, the impact is immediate. A ring, a pendant, or a pair of earrings set with Paraiba tourmaline never go unnoticed, usually becoming highlight pieces in fashion shows and luxury catalogs. Auction houses also confirm this meteoric rise. Sotheby's and Christie's have sold exceptional Paraiba specimens for hundreds of thousands of dollars per carat, a level usually reserved for rare-colored diamonds. That places the gem in a category of its own, competing directly with the world's most exclusive stones. Beyond jewelry, Paraiba has become a favorite among investors looking to diversify their portfolios outside of traditional markets. Unlike digital assets or stocks that can plummet overnight, a rare gemstone like this offers long-term stability. Even if prices fluctuate from year to year, the overall curve has been one of steady appreciation. In fact, those who bought Paraiba tourmalines a decade ago are likely holding an asset that has multiplied its value several times over. The outlook for the future remains promising. Experts point out that with global supply limited and demand climbing, especially across Asia, prices are expected to continue rising through 2025 and the years ahead. The fact that so few people worldwide have access to high-quality specimens only reinforces the gem's exclusivity, and the rarer it becomes, the higher its price goes. Among the many colored gemstones that have gained attention in recent years, few have surprised the market as much as the Mahenga spinel. Originating from the Mahenga region of Tanzania, this stone stole the spotlight from collectors and luxury jewelers thanks to its vibrant hues that look as if they were painted by nature itself. When exposed to light, a Mahenga spinel reveals neon pinks and fiery reds so intense that many people think they are looking at a synthetic stone. Yet it is a completely natural crystal, formed under rare geological conditions that produce these extraordinary colors. For a long time, spinel was considered the forgotten cousin of precious stones. In fact, throughout history, it was often mistaken for ruby, and even today some famous royal crowns feature spinels mislabeled as rubies. But the discovery of the Mahenga deposits changed everything. The first stones mined there in the early 2000s showed colors that no other variety of spinel had ever displayed before. A mix of natural fluorescence and unusual clarity that made the gems look as if they were glowing from within. It didn't take long for jewelers to notice the potential. Major names in high jewelry began incorporating Mahenga spinels into exclusive collections, often choosing them over rubies as centerpieces in important designs. The Asian market, especially in Hong Kong and Japan, embraced the stone with enthusiasm, pushing prices up at auctions and international trade shows. What was once an accessible and overlooked gem quickly became a coveted collector's piece. That movement translated directly into prices. Neon pink and flame red Mahenga spinels became the most sought after, with significant year-over-year increases. Reports show that since 2022, these stones have put Tanzania firmly on the radar of gemstone investors worldwide. And it's not just about fashion. The supply of high-quality material is extremely limited. The Mahenga mines do not produce crystals on a large scale, which means that every fine-quality specimen is essentially unique. In 2025, this scarcity became even more obvious. Demand skyrocketed, but supply could not keep pace. The result was record prices at private sales and prestigious auctions. For collectors, the Mahenga spinel became what the market calls a new collectible item, a gem that goes beyond aesthetics to represent status, investment, and exclusivity. Visually, comparisons with other stones are inevitable. While rubies offer a deep, classic red and emerald shine with iconic green, Mahenga spinel presents itself as a modern alternative, with neon-like colors that seem to pulse with energy. In jewelry, the effect is striking. A ring or necklace set with Mahenga spinel not only draws attention, but also sparks curiosity, since many people are still unfamiliar with this stone. That mystery only adds to its appeal and supports its rising value. Another key advantage is durability. With a hardness close to that of ruby and sapphire, Maheng spinel is strong enough for everyday wear. This gives buyers the confidence that they are not only acquiring a beautiful gem, but also one that is durable and practical, something that can be worn and admired for decades. Auction houses have also helped cement its reputation. Sotheby's and Christie's have already featured Maheng spinels in their catalogs, and the hammer prices often surprised experts used to high-value stones. In some cases, the per-carat price now rivals that of mid-grade rubies, reinforcing the idea that the market is only beginning to properly price this rarity. Unlike Paraiba tourmaline, which has already reached million-dollar levels and is almost out of reach for the average investor, Maheng spinel still offers opportunities at smaller sizes and relatively lower prices. This accessibility makes it attractive to mid-tier investors, fueling more activity at smaller auctions and in international trade. The neon factor is one of the biggest drivers behind its rise in 2025. Those vivid tones, combining brightness with transparency, are incredibly difficult to find in any other gemstone. That's why the most vibrant specimens are always the first to be sold, and the ones pushing prices higher every year. If Maheng spinel impresses with its neon pinks and fiery reds, cobalt spinel is nature's way of showing that it can rival even the finest sapphires. Found mainly in Tanzania and Vietnam, this rare variety of spinel stands out for its rich, saturated blue that remains vibrant even under low light. It's no surprise that in recent years, cobalt spinel has joined the list of the most sought-after gems in the luxury market. The numbers confirm this meteoric rise. According to the International Gem Society, in 2022, the price of cobalt spinel skyrocketed. It went from about $3,500 to $6,000 per carat to between $20,000 and $25,000 per carat. This extraordinary leap was not just the result of fashion trends, but of a combination of rising demand and extremely limited supply. By 2023, the market had stabilized at these higher levels, firmly establishing cobalt spinel as a prestige asset. A large part of this growth comes from the Asian market, particularly China, where high-net-worth collectors are eager for rare and unusual stones to add to their private collections. In Chinese culture, deep blue is associated with harmony and wisdom, which gives cobalt spinel symbolic meaning in addition to its aesthetic appeal. When cultural significance meets natural rarity, the conditions are perfect for value to soar. Another key factor driving its price is rarity. Unlike other spinels that can be found in several regions around the world, cobalt spinel occurs only in very specific locations. This means the chances of major new discoveries are minimal and global supply remains scarce. As a result, even small stones under 1 carat can fetch impressive prices when they display pure color and good clarity. From an aesthetic perspective, cobalt spinel has a glassy brilliance that makes it especially attractive in modern jewelry. Top designers have already begun to incorporate it into exclusive collections, often positioning it as a distinctive alternative to blue sapphire. This reinforces the perception that it is a gem for clients seeking exclusivity, not just tradition. At auction, cobalt spinel has already earned its place. While it doesn't yet command the million-dollar per carat figures of Paraiba tourmaline, its consistent growth has caught the attention of serious investors. Many believe we are only at the beginning of its value climb, and as long as supply remains restricted, prices are expected to continue their upward trajectory. Among all sapphire varieties, few carry as much prestige as the Burmese blue sapphire, especially when it has never undergone heat treatment. That technical detail makes all the difference. While most sapphires on the market are heat-treated to enhance their color, stones from Burma are often naturally rich, dense, and luminous. This means they don't need human intervention to display the kind of beauty that collectors and jewelers value most. The exclusivity of these gems becomes even clearer when you look at the numbers. Burmese sapphires represent only about 3.1% of global sapphire production. In other words, for every 100 sapphires sold worldwide, fewer than 4 come from this legendary region. And within that already tiny percentage, only a fraction remain unheated, making every specimen truly rare. That rarity translates directly into price. Between 2019 and 2023, Burmese blue sapphires saw annual increases ranging from 15 to 36%, a pace that outperformed many traditional assets. This steady appreciation has attracted not only passionate gem collectors, but also investors looking for alternative markets. After all, we're talking about a tangible, durable asset with a solid history of value growth. The year 2025 has only amplified this trend. The demand for untreated natural stones keeps growing. High-end buyers are increasingly drawn to gems that tell their story authentically, without artificial processes. Add to that the growing awareness around sustainability and responsible mining practices, and the interest in Burmese sapphires becomes even stronger. Burma, with its centuries-old tradition of producing legendary gems, carries exactly the cultural and historical weight that the modern market prizes. Visually, a Burmese sapphire is unmistakable. Its deep blue strikes a perfect balance between saturation and transparency, producing stones that seem to capture the essence of the night sky. Unlike darker sapphires that may appear nearly opaque, Burmese stones allow light to pass through, creating a vivid and elegant brilliance. That's why renowned jewelers choose them for exclusive pieces, such as luxury engagement rings and limited edition necklaces. At international auctions, the presence of an unheated Burmese blue sapphire is enough to draw immediate attention. The simple fact that it has never been heated places it in a special category, and competition for large, clean stones is always intense. The final hammer prices often rival those of high-quality rubies or even rare diamonds. When it comes to precious stones, few carry as much symbolic power and nobility as the ruby. And among all ruby varieties, one color has transcended beauty to become legend: the pigeon blood ruby. This term is used to describe rubies with a vivid, glowing red that seems to merge fire and elegance into a single gemstone. Throughout history, rubies have been considered the stones of kings and warriors, symbols of power, protection, and passion. In today's market, they have also proven to be remarkably solid investments. The numbers back this up. According to the International Gem Society, pigeon blood rubies posted steady price gains year after year. In 2019, they rose 14%. In 2020, even in the middle of the pandemic, they climbed another 12%. In 2021, they advanced 18%. In 2022, they jumped 24%. And in 2023, they added another 19%. Few assets in the world can maintain such a consistent curve of appreciation, especially during global uncertainty. The secret behind this stability lies in rarity. Medium-quality rubies are relatively common in many mining regions, but stones with true pigeon blood color are exceptionally rare, especially when untreated. The market places absolute priority on unheated gems, since they preserve the authenticity of their natural color. This scarcity keeps prices high, as global demand far exceeds limited supply. Burma, today's Myanmar, is the most classic source of these legendary rubies. The Mogok region in particular has been known for centuries as the producer of the finest examples. Today, however, mining there is limited and heavily regulated, further reducing the amount of material available on the international market. As a result, any well-cut pigeon blood ruby of significant size quickly becomes the subject of fierce competition at auctions. Visually, seeing a pigeon blood ruby is unforgettable. Its red is neither dull nor overly dark, but perfectly vivid, transmitting both energy and sophistication. Under light, these gems show an internal glow that seems to pulse, which is why many consider ruby to be the most emotionally powerful of all precious stones, even surpassing diamonds in intensity. In jewelry, pigeon blood rubies have always held a place of honor. Crowns, scepters, luxury engagement rings, and historic necklaces showcase this gem as a mark of absolute prestige. Today, beyond their beauty, they also serve as a financial safe haven, viewed by many collectors as a store of value comparable to gold or fine art. At international auctions, record prices are not uncommon. Pieces featuring pigeon blood rubies with perfect color and exceptional cutting have reached multi-million-dollar figures, often surpassing diamonds of the same size. This reinforces their reputation as one of the most secure and desirable gemstones in the world. In 2025, the trend remains clear. Pigeon blood rubies continue to be considered safe investments, with strong appeal for both collectors and institutional investors. The combination of extreme rarity, unmatched color, and a proven track record of appreciation ensures that this gem holds its place among the most exclusive assets in the gemstone market. Now, among the many varieties of the garnet family, Savorite holds a special place. Discovered relatively late in the gemstone world, in the 1960s, in Kenya and Tanzania, this stone quickly won favor among jewelers and collectors. The reason is simple. Its intense green color often rivals the finest emeralds. But with one important advantage, Savorite almost never has the visible inclusions that are so common in emeralds. This makes it cleaner, brighter, and often more durable. Rapnet's trend report listed Savorite among the new collectible items, alongside Paraiba tourmaline and spinels. This is an important recognition because it places Savorite in the category of stones that are not only beautiful, but also increasingly seen as investments. Such recognition often precedes significant price movements, which is exactly what has been happening with Savorite. The scarcity of fine material is one of the decisive factors. The mines that produce Savorites with vivid color and good size are few, located in difficult-to-access areas with challenging mining conditions. On top of that, most stones are small. Specimens above 3 or 4 carats are already considered extremely rare. This means that every large, well-cut gem commands impressive values at trade shows and international auctions. Aesthetically, Savorite is an immediate charmer. Its green is pure and luminous, often compared to the finest Colombian emeralds. Unlike emeralds, which often require oils or resins to improve their appearance, Savorite rarely needs any treatment. This all-natural character strongly appeals to today's market, which increasingly values stones that haven't undergone artificial enhancements. Another factor boosting demand is versatility. With a hardness of about 7 on the Mohs scale, Savorite is durable enough to be used in different types of jewelry, from rings to earrings and necklaces. This gives buyers confidence that they are investing in a gem that is not only beautiful, but also practical and long-lasting. In recent years, Savorite has shown steady appreciation, but in 2025, it truly stands out as a rising star. With fashion favoring bold, vivid colors and collectors seeking alternatives to traditional stones, demand is rising in key markets such as the United States, Europe, and Asia. The result is predictable: higher prices and fierce competition for the best specimens. Among the many types of garnets, few create as much visual impact as spessartite, often nicknamed Mandarin garnet for its vibrant orange color. If emeralds captivate with their deep green and rubies with their fiery red, spessartite draws attention with tones that resemble a glowing sunset or the brightness of a flame. This intense color has made it one of the most sought-after gems of the moment, especially in the supersaturated varieties known as Fanta garnets. According to Rappaport, spessartite was one of the best-selling gemstones of 2024, confirming its rise in the international market. This success isn't just about beauty, but the result of a combination of factors that set it apart. The first is the rarity of stones with uniform, vivid tones. Many garnets show uneven or mixed colors, but fine spessartite displays a pure, luminous orange without uneven saturation. That consistency makes it highly attractive to jewelers and collectors alike. Another factor is market timing. With consumers increasingly looking for alternatives to traditional stones like ruby, sapphire, and emerald, demand for gems with unusual colors is on the rise. Spessartite fits perfectly into this trend. Uncommon, beautiful, and still relatively affordable compared to the classic Big Three. This accessibility allows more buyers to enter the market, expanding demand and fueling a cycle of appreciation. Spessartite deposits are found mainly in Nigeria, Madagascar, and parts of the United States, but fine-quality crystals remain scarce. Production does not meet growing demand, which has created fierce competition at gem fairs and international auctions. Large stones with precise cutting and ideal saturation are immediately chased after by collectors and luxury jewelry designers. Visually, spessartite is a stone of brilliant sparkle. Its high dispersion creates internal flashes of fiery light, enhancing its appeal even. The next gem is known as the chameleon stone. It displays a rare optical phenomenon. It changes color depending on the light. In daylight, it shows a deep green reminiscent of emerald. Under incandescent light, however, It reveals reddish or purplish tones similar to ruby. This dramatic shift makes alexandrite one of the most intriguing and desirable gems in the world, valued not only for its beauty, but also for its rarity. In December 2024, a Brazilian alexandrite weighing 16.53 carats sold at auction for an astonishing $1.9 million, cementing its place among the most talked-about gems in the international market. And this was not an isolated event. According to Rappaport reports, alexandrites, alongside rubies and Paraiba tourmalines, were among the top-performing gemstones of 2024, signaling a clear trend of continued appreciation in 2025. Scarcity is one of the main drivers behind these prices. Alexandrite was first discovered in the Ural Mountains of Russia in the 19th century, but those original deposits are now nearly depleted. Brazil has since become one of the most important modern sources, particularly in the state of Minas Gerais, where some of the most impressive specimens are found. Still, the supply of high-quality material remains extremely limited. Beyond rarity, its aesthetic appeal plays a central role. The color change is so striking that many collectors describe owning alexandrite as having two gems in one. This phenomenon, known as pleochroism, is judged with great scrutiny. The sharper and more dramatic the shift from green to red, the higher the stone's value. In the jewelry market, alexandrite is almost always reserved for exclusive pieces and limited editions. Renowned designers choose it for its unique visual impact and its ability to turn a piece of jewelry into a conversation starter. For investors, it represents an asset that combines historical prestige, mineral rarity, and steadily growing demand. Among the many variations of the tourmaline family, few are as striking as rubellite, better known as the red tourmaline. Unlike lighter pink tourmalines, rubellite displays intense shades ranging from vivid red to deep magenta, often with an inner glow that seems to light the gem from within. This makes it one of the most valuable types of tourmaline, especially when it shows good clarity and uniform color. In recent years, rubellite has gained recognition as a collector's stone, standing alongside traditionally prestigious gems like spinel and sapphire. The reason is its combination of rarity and beauty. High-quality rubellite is difficult to find. Many stones mined contain internal fractures or uneven colors, which lower their value. Clean, well-cut specimens with saturated color are rare and highly sought after. Its vivid brilliance is another hallmark. While some red gems can appear dark or dull in low light, rubellite maintains its intensity even under softer lighting. This effect comes from the way the gem interacts with light, producing lively internal reflections. In jewelry, this glow makes rubellite irresistible, especially in rings and necklaces designed to convey sophistication and emotional intensity. Limited supply is a key driver of value. Fine rubellites are sourced from specific deposits in Brazil, Mozambique, and Nigeria, but the amount of gem-quality material is restricted. At the same time, demand has been steadily increasing, driven by collectors seeking exclusive alternatives to ruby and jewelers, eager to bring fresh colors into their designs. This combination of scarcity and growing demand has steadily pushed prices upward, making rubellite one of the highlights of the 2025 market. Another important factor is official market recognition. Recent trend reports list rubellite as one of the new collectible gems, alongside some of the world's most prestigious stones. This indicates that it is not just a passing trend, but a shift in perception that places rubellite in the category of true investment stones. Many experts believe we are only at the beginning of its appreciation cycle, especially as large, top-quality specimens become increasingly rare. If there is one stone that can symbolize royalty, mystery, and prosperity all at once, it is the emerald. Among all the green gemstones in the market, none carry the prestige and value of Colombian emeralds. Renowned for their intense color, purity, and a history of mining in the Andes that spans centuries. In 2025, experts say we are living through the year of the emerald, a period in which demand for this gem is rising rapidly and prices continue on an upward curve. According to Rappaport's Rising Stars section, two main factors are driving this momentum: the growing popularity of the color green and increasing awareness of sustainable mining. Green has become the color of the moment in luxury jewelry, associated not only with nature, but also with ideas of renewal, balance, and exclusivity. At the same time, high-end consumers are seeking gems with traceable origins that align with more responsible practices. In this sense, Colombian emeralds bring together tradition, beauty, and a narrative that matches the demands of the modern market. What sets Colombian emeralds apart from stones of other origins is precisely their tone and transparency. While emeralds from Zambia or Brazil may display lighter or bluish tones, those from Colombia reveal a deep, richly saturated green with lively brilliance, regarded as the benchmark of excellence for the gem. This distinction makes top-quality specimens command prices that rival fine rubies and rare sapphires. At international auctions, the appearance of a large, exceptionally clear Colombian emerald is always an event. Sotheby's and Christie's have recorded repeated sales records, proving that the gem is not only a piece of jewelry, but also a highly coveted financial asset. In some cases, necklaces or rings featuring cut Colombian emeralds have sold for millions of dollars, especially when combining size, color, and superior cutting. Another factor contributing to its appreciation is the gem's historical symbolism. Pre-Columbian civilizations already considered emeralds gifts from the gods, and to this day the stone carries a cultural weight of spirituality and power. This legacy adds a layer of meaning that transcends economic value, reinforcing its position as one of the most iconic gemstones in the world. In 2025, with demand surging in markets such as the United States, Europe, and Asia, and supply limited to a handful of Colombian mines, prices are expected to keep climbing. For collectors and investors, the opportunity is clear. Owning a Colombian emerald means acquiring not just a rare gemstone, but also a piece of the history and culture of the world's most valuable jewels. So if you think about it, all the gemstones we've explored here share something in common. Their value in 2025 was not just about beauty, but about rarity, demand, and timing. Some of them were once overlooked or considered secondary stones, yet today they are reaching prices that rival rubies, emeralds, and even diamonds. That shows the gemstone market is alive, dynamic, and full of surprises for those who know how to follow the signs. Now let's suppose you come across a colorful stone in nature, maybe something that looks like a spinel, a tourmaline, or even an emerald similar to the ones on this list. The question is, how can you tell if it's truly a valuable gemstone or just a common mineral that looks similar? And more importantly, how can you test it at home without needing expensive gemological equipment? Well, that's exactly why we created the book Gemology Journey for Beginners, available on Amazon. It's a clear and practical guide designed for newcomers, teaching you step-by-step how to recognize, test, and identify gemstones using simple, accessible methods that anyone can apply. And for subscribers of this channel, it's available with a special discount at the link in the description. Of course, if right now isn't the time for you to invest in a book or become a channel member, you can still subscribe for free and stay tuned. Because in the upcoming videos, we'll keep revealing the secrets behind other valuable stones, including some that might be hidden in your own backyard or riverbed, just waiting for the right person to recognize them. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Good luck, Gem Hunter.